Welcome to Chicago Tribune's Bear Download. We're here at Bourbonnais on the second practice of training camp. I'm Rich Campbell. This is Dan Wiederer. And Dan, practice today, offense was off to a real shaky start. You had fumbled snap early on, a false start early on. Jay Cutler threw an interception early on. Not exactly where you expected this offense to be clicking, but on the flip side, defense played well at the beginning of practice. Kelvin Hayden, cornerback, had 2 interceptions today, and so what to talk about is the Bears finished up their 2 practices without pads and look forward to wearing pads tomorrow.
Yeah, second day of practice. It's hard to read too much into it, but
Sure.
if you're a fan out here in Bourbonnais, there was a lot to watch today. You had a one-handed catch by Brandon Marshall along the sideline, the Kasim Green interception that you mentioned, and another skirmish. This one between Jordan Mills and Lamar Houston. That's the second time they've gone at it, going back to the OTAs or the minicamp in the summer. And so obviously it's not a big deal, but if you're in the stands, it's one of those ooh and ah moments where you say these guys are scrapping at it. And Mark Trestman continues to stress that when those things happen, they need to stress to players that it's a disciplinary problem. They don't want these things coming up in games. And so as much as you're going to make out of it, that's what you're going to take.
Sure. And back to Kelvin Hayden for a second. We've made a lot out of Kyle Fuller's performance in the secondary, and he had 2 interceptions on the first day. Of course, that's going to grab headlines because he's a first-round pick and a rookie starting out. But can't forget about Hayden, who's coming off a missed season. He was out last year because of a hamstring injury he suffered during the summer. And so Mark Trestman mentioned how nice it is for this defense to have this type of veteran presence. And you go to Hayden's first interception of today's practice. He's reading receivers on the run while Jay Cutler's rolling out, and then he read the quarterback. It's a lot to read in a short amount of time, and as a veteran, he can do that. He can provide that type of presence for his defense.
With almost all of their draft picks, the Bears are talking about the competition behind them. They don't want those rookies getting too comfortable.
Sure.
And so for a guy like Kyle Fuller, they want him to know that Kelvin Hayden's there. He can compete. Kyle Fuller is going to be your number 3 cornerback unless something strange happens. But Kelvin Hayden provides depth there. He provides experience, as you mentioned. He provides a veteran presence. So it's nice to have that as you sort of look forward to improving your defense and getting some solid parts that can bail you out if injuries occur and you have to shuffle the pieces.